Hello, my name is Stuart Spiers, and tonight I will be answering three questions on Martin Heidegger and his philosophy. The first question is: what role did Heidegger want the German university to play in the overcoming of nihilism and the revitalization of the German nation? First off, Martin Heidegger was a German philosopher who began his most influential works in the 1930s during the Nazi movement. As early as the 1930s, Heidegger was giving lectures on Friedrich Nietzsche's thought and his philosophy. Given the importance of Nietzsche's contribution to the topic of nihilism, Heidegger's most influential interpretation of Nietzsche's is important for the historical development of the term nihilism. Heidegger believed that the German university was crucial in overcoming nihilism, as well as revitalizing the German culture. The students at the university would learn German values of the time, and Heidegger saw the university as an important platform for his philosophy. Heidegger wanted the German university to support him, but he also wanted the students, to support the Nazi movement as well. Though Heidegger didn't consider himself to be a Nazi, he still held many of their same beliefs, and he ended up joining the Nazi Party later on, and he was also very anti-Semitic as he didn't really like the Jewish race. Heidegger did not completely agree with the subject of nihilism as a whole, as he was raised actually in the Catholic Church when he was growing up. Nihilism is the rejection of all religious and moral principles, often in the belief that life is meaningless. Though raised Catholic, Heidegger supported different ideals, which led him to his support of the Nazi Party to rid Germany of all other cultural values, especially that of any Jewish people. Uh, Once he joined the Nazi movement, he was extremely involved, and as many of his philosophies later impacted the Nazi Party and their thought. Uh, Heidegger used the Nazi movement to his full advantage as he used his ideals coupled with the ideas like ethnic cleansing and nihilism to bolster his beliefs. He agreed with the Nazis that the German race must be cleansed of all other cultures and values in order to make them stronger as a whole. He also thought the nihilistic beliefs would benefit Germany and its people. And that's it for the first question. The second question is: how will the faculty and students be trained or adapted to this task? Heidegger used both faculty and students as a platform for his philosophies, as many of his writings are addressed to them. He frequently speaks of the will of essence. He once told his students that of Nazism's inner truth and greatness, declaring Hitler alone is "quote unquote" the present and future of German reality and its law. Heidegger had a strong desire for the growth of both students and faculty, as he wanted them to adopt his same beliefs in order to make Germany stronger. Heidegger created academic laws that banned certain freedoms of thinking from the university. He deemed any freedom that students had as having no factual basis, so they had no guidance. In order to move the German people forward, there needed to be guidance and law, and he implemented that in the university. This guidance and law would promote certain types of leadership, which was imperative for faculty to have in order to teach the students and lead them. The leadership would encourage growth within the German university as well as Germany as a whole. If the students obeyed the law, they were placing themselves in the middle of Heidegger's philosophy. This would encourage the demise of cultural barriers as well as strengthen themselves spiritually. If the students all fell under Heidegger's philosophy, they would all fall together and come together as one, in a sense. He wanted to unite both faculty and students, as they would come together as one. They would hold the same way of thinking and make Germany stronger. And moving on to question number 3, it is: what are the connections between Heidegger's philosophy and his goals as rector of the University of Freiburg? And Heidegger's philosophy tended to guide his own actions, as later in life he was elected as the rector of the University of Freiburg. But near the end of April 1933, when he was elected, at the same time from May 1933 until his resignation of the rectorate the following February, he was also a member of the Nazi Party, as I've already stated. But Heidegger's prestige as a thinker and his enormous influence and his attention to the problem of authenticity makes his assumption of the Freiburg Rectorate and its association with the Nazis in 1933 extremely disturbing. The order of his rectorate can quickly be summarized as a whole, and though he did not previously belong to any political party, Heidegger consented to join the Nazi Party soon after he assumed the rectorate. He claims in Facts and Thoughts and his writing that he joined, quote unquote, only in the interest of the university and on the expressly acknowledged condition that I would never take on a party office or engage in any party activity. And Heidegger was quickly to point out that the Nazis were from the beginning uneasy about his allegiance. His rectoral address was even considered subversive by some, and as its very title suggests, the self-assertion of the German university proclaimed the spiritual autonomy of the academic life. The university, Heidegger insisted, must be allowed to govern itself. He said that self-governance means to set our own tasks, to determine ourselves the way and manner in which it is to be realized, so that thus we shall be what we ought to be. And of course, none of this accorded with the Nazi dictum of absolute submission to the state. In attempting to understand why Heidegger would indenture himself to the cause of Hitler's regime, we should not underestimate his genuine attraction to certain aspects of National Socialism. And it's difficult for me to see the connection between Hitler's murderous regime and Heidegger's dream of an inner recollection and renewal of the German people, which is obvious. But for a while, Heidegger admitted to making mistakes during his rectorate, but he never once publicly acknowledged the enormity of the evil party he was with, which was the Nazis. And but he used the Nazi Party as a crutch to push forward his ideas to the German people, which is obviously wrong. But and then Heidegger died at the age of 86 in 1976 in Germany. But though he was part of the Nazi Party for a while and the rectorate of the university, Heidegger is without a doubt one of the most influential philosophers of the 20th century for his impact on society, especially in the 1930s. And that is the end of my presentation, and thank you for listening.